is all about like the most expensive things ever sold. I couldn't think of any ideas, and I didn't plan this last night. I was quite tired because I actually had run club last night as well, and after eating and everything like that, I was tired. So I didn't end up planning anything last night, so I was just trying to think of it as I was getting ready for my run, etc. this morning. So the first one is most expensive manuscript, the Codex Leicester. The most expensive manuscript ever sold at auction, adjusting for inflation, was the Codex Leicester, one of Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks full of scientific musings and sketches. The Codex, which owes its name to one-time owner Thomas Coke, the Earl of Leicester, was sold to Bill Gates in 1994 for over $30 million. The book was written in Leonardo's signature mere writing style, and it provides a glimpse into his unique ways of thinking. The ultimate Renaissance man's wandering mind takes him to some fascinating places in the diary, looking to explain the presence of maritime fossils on hilltops. He broke from contemporary explanations that either misidentified them as something entirely inorganic or tried to account for their location through a one-time event like the biblical deluge. In its place, he suggested a more gradual process, like the type that occurs over years of sedimentary rock formation, and even laid out an incipient understanding of what we'll eventually call trace fossils. He realized centuries before other scientists that creatures had once burrowed their way through a soft sea bottom that had over time become rocky mountain top material. Leonardo also thought the moon was covered in water, but hey, for just $30 million, not every idea is going to be a winner. So, most expensive painting, Salvator Mundi. So, Leonardo is also responsible for the most expensive painting ever sold at auction, maybe. Salvator Mundi, which depicts Jesus Christ holding a crystal orb, sold in 1958 for just £45. After art speculators Robert Simon and Alexander Parrish bought it in 2005, though they helped instigate a critical reevaluation of the piece that eventually convinced many experts the piece was an original painting from Leonardo da Vinci. Some skeptics, like art critic Jerry Sells and Renaissance specialist Charles Hope, pegged it as a likely copy. Others felt that Leonardo may have played a legitimate role in its creation, but the extensive conservation efforts over the years muddied the painting's value. In the end, their doubts proved no match for a more believing set of experts and the excesses of the art market. The piece sold in 2017 for $450 million, including buyer's premium. So, the most expensive sculpture, L'Homme au Doigt. The most expensive sculpture ever purchased is Swiss sculptor Alberto Giacometti's L'Homme au Doigt, or Man Pointing. The piece was originally designed to include a second figure the pointing man would have his arm around. The plan was scrapped, but it didn't affect the piece's eventual value. Decades later, hedge fund mogul Steve Cohen coughed up over $140 million to own the Lonesome Pointer, setting a record for a piece of sculpture sold at auction. Most expensive professional sports team, the New York Mets. $140 million is chump change compared to another famous Cohen acquisition, the New York Mets, when he purchased the team in 2020 for $2.4 billion. It was the highest recorded purchase price for a professional sports team. Most expensive empire, the Roman empires have been put on the open market, but the Roman Empire once sold at auction for 25,000 sesterces per soldier. The Praetorian Guard had killed the previous emperor Pertinax. Didius Julianus was the highest bidder for the empire and was briefly installed as the head of state. For his troubles, he received a prompt civil war and an eventual beheading. Most expensive guns, George Washington's pistols. So the highest price for a single auction lot of guns belongs to George Washington's set of saddle pistols, which were sold for nearly $2 million in 2002. The pistols were actually in Andrew Jackson's possession for a number of years, but Hamilton lovers will especially appreciate their original source. They were a gift from everyone's favourite fighting Frenchman, the Marquis de Lafayette. Most expensive underwear. So, Queen Victoria's underwear. Some of the most expensive underwear ever purchased once covered the royal cheeks of Queen Victoria. The royal underwear in question were embroidered with the initials VR for Victoria Regina and were especially prized because their noticeable alterations allowed royal enthusiasts to peg the undies to the last decade of the Queen's life, when her shrinking stature necessitated a tailor's intervention. The underpants went for a little over $16,000, but that's like the Queen or didn't pay that much for them. It's because they are resold at auction. It's like, when a celebrity has touched something and then they pay a crazy amount for something, weird online or stuff like that. So the allure isn't the thing itself, it's the fact that that famous person has touched them or used them. So, most expensive kidney stone, William Shatner's kidney stone. Even the considerable passion of royal fans pales in comparison to the favour of Trekkies. That may be why, when William Shatner wanted to raise money for Habitat for Humanity, his past kidney stone was able to fetch $25,000 from the goldenpalace.com. Amazingly, the online casino originally offered $15,000, but Shatner held out for more because it's important to know your own worth and or the worth of the small hard deposits produced by your renal system. Most expensive hair, Elvis Presley's hair. So the most expensive hair sold at auction went for a staggering $115,000 in November 2002 and belonged to Elvis Presley. According to a federal indictment, a few months after that purchase in April 2003, the same auction house sold more hair advertised as Elvis's. After DNA testing, that second hair's authenticity was called into question. The auction house refunded the purchase and then, according to the indictment, resold it, causing false representations and material omissions to be made concerning the authenticity of the purported Elvis hair. For this and other issues, the chairman of the auction house was sentenced to 20 months in prison. Yeah, so it's not clear whether the first hair... Oh, wait. It does say more down here. The veracity of the November 2002 purchase doesn't appear to have been questioned, and the April 2003 purchase isn't necessarily faux Elvis hair, it's just a matter of contention. So yeah, we don't know if the first one was real Elvis hair or not, or even if the second one wasn't or not. I guess, if they, they obviously saw how much money they got for the hair. And as it's something that, well, I don't know if it's easy to get, depends if you're Elvis's hairdresser or not, or it depends if you're Elvis's hairdresser or not, or if he's voluntarily giving you the hair, etc. Not just going up to him with the scissors and chopping it off against as well. But it's not something that would be very difficult to do or to get. I don't know, what's difficult to get? I don't know what I'm saying now. So, most expensive beetle, a stag beetle. So, the world's most expensive beetle, non-John Paul sold in Japan for $89,000. Not 892,000, 89,000. So yes, the actual beetle, not the Beatles. Did not need to explain that one though. The most expensive typewriter, Cormac McCarthy's typewriter. So some of the earliest typewriters featured hand-engraved letters. One sold for over $140,000 back in 2019. But that's not the most expensive typewriter ever purchased. That distinction may belong to Cormac McCarthy's light blue Ulvietta Latera 32, which sold for over $250,000 in 2009. So the most expensive comic book, Action Comics #1. So the most expensive comic book ever sold was a pristine copy of the famous first issue of Action Comics, featuring the debut of a little character called Superman. The purchase price, do you want to guess? $3.2 million. Wow. So the most expensive coin, the 1933 double eagle coin, so one of the world's most expensive coins, took a winding path to the auction block. It begins with Theodore Roosevelt, who in late 1904 labeled the United States existent coinage artistically of atrocious hideousness. The colonel's coin's complaint eventually led to, among other things, the $20 double eagle coin designed by sculptor Augustus Saint Gaudens. With Dior's support, the phrase "In God We Trust" was left off the initial design. 24 ultra-high relief pieces were struck as models for the coins in a labor-intensive process. A variety of gold coins eventually ended up in circulation. Then, in 1933, Theodore's distant cousin, and then the President of the United States, Franklin, issued an executive order with an eye towards ending the general bank crisis. It stipulated that citizens were required to turn many gold coins into the government. While production of the gold double eagle coins was eventually halted, some of the 1933 double eagles did secretly make their way out of the mint. Federal agents tracked down and destroyed 9 of the 10 then known copies in the wild, with a lone outlier belonging by the mid-1940s to King Farouk of Egypt, who also collected old razor blades and antique aspirin bottles. In 1944, Farouk's representatives were awarded an export license for the coin, despite the fact that it technically should have been considered contraband stolen from the U.S. Mint. It's believed that Farouk's coin eventually ended up in the hands of Stephen Fenton, a British coin dealer. When he brought it to New York to sell it in 1996, he was busted in a stun operation and carried out by the Secret Service. The coin was seized and Fenton was arrested. After a lengthy legal battle, it was determined that the export license meant the United States government had made an out-of-court deal to sell the coin and split the proceeds, and for a mere $20, its face value, would even monetize the coin, including auction house fees, and that $20, the coin sold for around $7.6 million in 2002, the highest auction price for any coin at that time. And of course, that also meant, that much money was worth more back then. After that sale, the record was surpassed on a couple of occasions, including a record $20 million purchase price for one of the first, if not the very first silver dollars ever struck by the US Mint, the so-called flowing hair dollar. But in June 2021, the double eagle went up for an auction again and sold for $18.9 million. So the most expensive stamp, the 1-cent magenta, so a pricey piece of postage, was actually at the same auction. An 1856 stamp from then British Guiana has set 4 separate sale records in transactions over the years, and like many of the objects on this list, It derives its value from a combination of rarity and a great story. In 1855, the local postmaster of British Guiana was expecting a shipment of 50,000 1 cent and 4 cent stamps from Great Britain. When only 5,000 of each arrived, he eventually had to improvise, enlisting the local newspaper's printing press to create a limited edition stopgap stamp in 1 and 4 cent values. The 1 cent versions were used for newspapers and therefore especially likely to have been promptly discarded. In fact, just a single copy of the 1 cent magenta has trotted the globe in the decades since, including a period when it was part of the collection of one of the most renowned stamp collectors of all time, Philip de la Renotier von Ferrar. The stamp also played a role in a diplomatic tussle between France and Germany and was sold in 2014 for $9.5 million from the estate of the chemical company heir and convicted murderer John E. Dupont. It then sold for $8.3 million at the June 2021 auction and is still the most valuable stamp in the world. So, the most expensive album, the Wu-Tang Clan's Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. The world's most expensive album may not have gone for that much, at least compared to other items on this list, but it's still worth mentioning. The only copy of the Wu-Tang Clan's Once Upon a Time in Shaolin was sold to pharmaceutical executive Martin Shkreli for $2 million after Shkreli was convicted of securities fraud in 2017. Once Upon a Time in Shaolin was reportedly seized by the feds. No word on if they give it a spin, though. So that is the end of this list. And now we'll see about the next one. This is the most expensive things ever sold at auction. So Oppenheimer Blue Diamond, belonging to Philip Oppenheimer. After the blockbuster film Titanic came out, attention to rare blue diamonds swelled, which is perhaps one factor that played into the magnificent sale of the Oppenheimer Blue that had belonged to Philip Oppenheimer. Or maybe that's just a fun pop culture tidbit. At any rate, this rectangular diamond, weighing in at approximately 14.62 carats, was sold at a Christie's auction in 2016 for nearly $57.6 million. Portrait of an Artist, Pool with Two Figures by David Hockney. Among the most recognizable works in David Hockney's venerable collection is Portrait of an Artist, Pool with Two Figures, which features an image of a young man standing and staring below at a man swimming. The first version of the painting was made in 1971 and soon after destroyed by the artist himself, but in 1972 he recreated it. Sometimes perceived as depicting heartbreak, the painting sold in 2019 at auction by Christie's for $90.3 million. So, Rabbit by Jeff Koons. Celebrated American artist Jeff Koons is best known for his balloon animals made of stainless steel and polished with mirrors. One of these glimmering creatures that stands at 3 feet tall was produced in 1986. In 2019, it was sold at an auction held by Christie's for $91 million. This is the highest price that artwork by a living artist has ever sold at auction. Yes, because usually the artist's work increases in value, or they become more famous, or famous in general, when they die for whatever reason. So it doesn't seem like being an artist is a good profession when you're alive. I'm not saying it's not, but yeah. Man pointing. Oh yeah, we talked about that one already. The Giga Yacht. The Giga Yacht, a 405-foot long yacht with a movie theater and a helipad, among other luxury amenities, is list because it was sold on eBay, which is not your typical auction house. Usually these tremendously expensive works end up in the hands of famous dealers like Sotheby's or Christie's. The winning bid by Greg Tim, president of Four Yacht Inc., went for $168 million earlier this year. I'm not sure actually when this article was written, so this year doesn't mean this year, 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO Berlinetta sold at a Sotheby's auction. The 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO Berlinetta sold for $48 million. This is the most money a car has ever sold for an auction. It comes from a very small collection. Ferrari made only 39 GTOs. It sports a V12 engine and a maximum speed of 240 kilometers per hour. So Jimson Weed / White Flower No. 1 by George O'Keeffe. Legendary painter George O'Keeffe, best known for desert landscape and flower imagery, died in 1986. Many moons later, in 2014, her estate's net worth went massively up. Her painting, titled Jimson Weed / White Flower No. 1, sold at Sotheby's auction for $44.4 million. The painting of the striking white flower had previously been in the safekeeping of O'Keeffe's sister, Anita O'Keeffe Young. This is the most money a work by a woman artist has ever gone for at auction. Les Femmes d'Alger version O by Pablo Picasso. Cubism pioneer Pablo Picasso painted Les Femmes d'Alger. I love how I was like questioning because it said earlier it's spelled right, but then it says Cubism pioneer Pablo Picasso painted. It says Le Femme d'Alger, but it's Les Femmes d'Alger because you can't say Le Femme because firstly it was saying femme is plural and le is singular, but it's also because femme is feminine, so it would be la femme if it was singular, so it has to be le. So I was like, what's going on here? Okay, please my French, let's have know something. Version 0 in 1955. The artwork has long been perceived as highly valuable and previously held prominence at the Musée du Luxembourg. The painting was sold at auction by Christie's for $179,365,000 in 2015. At the time, it was the most expensive artwork ever sold at auction. So, Portrait of Marilyn Monroe by Andy Warhol. On May 10th, 2022, famed artist Andy Warhol's shot Sage Blue Marilyn, an iconic portrait of Marilyn Monroe, sold for $195 million at auction by Christie's. Created in 1964, the silk screen image shows Monroe in vivid color with a blue eyeshadow and bright red lips. To date, this is the most expensive work sold by an American artist at auction. I feel like I know that one. Wait. Oh no. Oh, I didn't know that one. Okay. Like, I feel like I thought it was something else, but that looks familiar as well. Okay, next up. Most expensive things in the world. 25. Mariah Carey's engagement ring. $10 million. Mariah Carey's engagement ring is one of the most extravagant and expensive celebrity engagement rings ever. In 2016, she received the 35-carat diamond ring from Australian billionaire James Packer. The stunned emerald-cut diamond was estimated to be worth around $10 million. It features a platinum band and was designed by Wilfredo Rosato, a close friend of Mariah Carey. Even after their engagement ended, the ring remained a symbol of luxurious celebrity jewelry. Mariah reportedly sold the ring in 2018 for approximately $2.1 million, significantly less than its original estimated a substantial amount for a piece of jewelry. Yeah, I was just gonna look that up, like, not to be cynical, but like, I don't follow, unless it's someone I really like or whatever, that like who celebrities are dating or engaged to. It seems like get engaged and they break off the engagement, or get married and then like stay together for a few months or a year or so, you know, like not very long term. Depending, like some people get engaged like very fast, but like before they really know like that's the one. But then some people get married really soon after knowing each other, and then they have a really happy life together and stay together for years and years. You never know. Either way, my point is that I was actually gonna look up if they were still together, and it says no, she's not. But I thought, like, wouldn't she give the ring back to him because he bought it for her? If they broke up, etc. I don't know. Maybe it was his gift to her. But yeah, depending. And you know, he said he was a billionaire, did he? Yeah. So, perfect pink diamond, $23.2 million. So the perfect pink diamond is one of the most expensive, smallest things in the world. It's a stunning gemstone that fetched an impressive $23.2 million at a Christie's auction in Hong Kong in 2010. This rare diamond weighs 14.23 carats and is classified as a fancy, intense pink, which is one of the rarest and most desirable color grades for pink diamonds. Its color and quality made it a standout piece, setting a record for the highest price ever paid for a pink diamond at that time. Yeah, it seems that, what was I gonna say? A lot of these are sold at Christie's auction. I was also like saying on TikTok about like engagement rings or something. Not that it concerns me, but something about like diamonds and like thinking about different jewelry, different gems that are like more affordable, and you can like barely tell the difference from a diamond unless you're like, you know, a professional jeweler that could tell the difference. And like maybe it lasts better as well, and it's more affordable, wouldn't break the bank in the same way the diamond would. But yeah, I'm not sure the exact names. Chopard 201 carat gemstone watch, $25 million. So the Chopard 201 carat gemstone watch is one of the most luxurious and expensive timepieces in the world, valued at an astounding $25 million. Created by the Swiss luxury jeweler Chopard, this watch is truly a masterpiece of craftsmanship and opulence. The watch is adorned with a total of 874 diamonds, including 3 prominent heart-shaped diamonds that are the focal point of the piece, a 15-carat pink diamond, and a 12-carat blue diamond, and 11-carat white diamond. These heart-shaped gems are surrounded by clusters of smaller diamonds, creating a dazzling flower-like arrangement. The rest of the watch is encrusted with yellow and white diamonds, adding to its extraordinary sparkle. Giant clock by Jeff Bezos, $442 million. The giant clock is a unique and extravagant project backed by Jeff Bezos, known as the 10,000-year clock. It is being built inside a mountain in West Texas on land owned by Bezos. The clock is designed to run for 10,000 years without human intervention, symbolizing long-term thinking and sustainability. This ambitious project, estimated at $42 million, is being constructed by the Law Now Foundation, an organization focused on fostering long-term thinking. The clock will be powered by thermal cycles from the Earth and synchronized at noon with solar energy. It will feature a series of chimes that generate a different sequence of sounds each day for the next 10,000 years. Carinsurance.com, domain name $49.7 million. So the domain name car insurance is one of the most expensive domain sales in history. In 2010, it was purchased for a staggering $49.7 million by Quinn Street, an online marketing company specializing in vertical markets such as financial services. The sale was significant The sale was significant not just because of the price, but also because it highlighted the high value associated with premium industry-specific domain names. For Quinn Street, the investment in carinsurance.com aimed to enhance its presence in the online insurance space, leveraging the highly descriptive and memorable domain to attract more traffic and generate business leads. L'Incomparable diamond necklace, $55 million. I think I'm going to stop trying to say this name of the necklace because I know what it means. Like incomparable, like the incomparable necklace, like unlike any other kind of thing vibe going on, but saying invalide, incomparable, l'incomparable. It's also the L apostrophe trips me up. Like so, I-N is pronounced like in French. Like, I'm not saying it very well, but invalide. Like it's not pronounced how you think in English, but especially the comparable. Comparable. I have to cut all that out now. So the incomparable diamond necklace, the market value of $55 million, is considered the costliest necklace that goes beyond human expectations. It is made of flawless 637-carat white diamonds suspended from a rose gold setting studded with 90 white diamonds. A girl in Congo discovered the spectacular diamond that serves the necklace's centerpiece about 3 decades ago. So, Graf Diamonds Hallucination Watch, $55 million. Lawrence Graf is known for producing expensive items from precious gemstones, and one of them is the Graf Diamonds Hallucination Watch, currently valued at $55 million. The watch may not appear tentative. A close look will reveal a myriad of multicolored diamonds. For instance, the watch has 110-carat diamonds in various shapes and colors. Okay. So, the Gaston à la Pipe painting, $104 million. À la pipe. Pipe. Pipe, I believe. The Gaston à la Pipe painting is among the most expensive thing in the world. It was sold at Sotheby's auction on 5th of May 2004 for $104 million. Pablo Picasso, the master artist, created this magnificent Gaston à la Pipe painting in 1905. Picasso painted this piece when he was only 24 years old during his Rose period in the Montmartre area of Paris. Oh, I'm just thinking, in a second. Gaston à la Pipe is translated as boy with a pipe in English. The painting portrays a teenage boy seated in blue overalls wearing a garland of roses on his head. He holds a pipe in his left hand the wrong way around. It's currently the 5th highest selling painting by Picasso. I'm not sure if we talked about this, but, or in general, but when I go away, I seem to go on a lot of free walking tours, especially if I'm like by myself, not with like friends or family, etc. You know, because it's a way to like see around the place and meet people. Like you have some conversations with people on the tour, etc. So, but either way, I was with my mom for this one. So in Montmartre, we're in Paris, so I picked up Montmartre walking tour. I think it just kind of worked with the times, etc. But it was also because we'd already been around the center area and I hadn't been to Montmartre yet. Le Moulin Rouge is. So, and where Picasso, pretty sure. No. Where? Leonardo da Vinci. No. Oh, yes, where Van Gogh, I'm saying it wrong, used to live with his brother? His uncle? Something or other. And he was creating works, and they were saying that the artists used to pay their rent for the studios with a painting, like, so the landlord could come in studio, and that would be their rent for the month or something like that. And yeah, we were just in that artist kind of area. I'd recommend doing that. If not, it's nice area to visit. And yeah, I don't know. So, portrait of Adele Bruckbauer, painted $135 million. So yeah, Gustav Klimt, I had a presentation on him in German class. He's Austrian. Completed the portrait of Adele Bruckbauer, painting between 1903 and 1907, also known as the Lady in Gold, or the Woman in Gold. The portrait was commissioned by Adele Bruckbauer and her husband Ferdinand Bauer. It was then stolen by Nazis in 1941 and displayed at the Österreichische Gallery Belvedere in Vienna. Although the portrait has a long, intriguing story, it was last sold to art collector Ronald Lauder in 2006 for $135 million. Since then, it has been displayed publicly in the Neue Gallery in New York. So, actually, about that, Gustav Klimt, it's funny because I swear I have a scarf upstairs, and I forget who gave it to me, like, kind of not silk, but like just that kind of material, but it's not actually silk. Fake, I think, yes. And it has this beautiful like painting on it, and like I swear it's like it looks like one of his like men and women lying down or something. I don't know. Lying down. Klimt. Wait, let's see. Was it standing couple in an embrace? It looks like that one, I swear. But like looking at it, it looks different. And I'm not sure if it's like a replica of this, or it's just maybe it's a different painting that I don't know the name of. But I'm like, who gave that to me? And like I've actually never worn that, but maybe I should. It's very like, it stands out. I'm like, what would you wear that? Maybe you'd wear it with something plain, so it would take the attention, you know? I don't know. But either way, thank you so much for